think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? I think as crazy as it sounds. Just sit down. Sit down, everybody.
Right, I'm sure he does, Donald. That's why Russian forces are out here mocking your capitulation to Vladimir Putin during the peace summit by literally attaching American flags to their tanks as they attack Ukraine.
I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great.
When the headline reads, European leaders rush to the US to help Ukraine, you understand how much the little faith that they had in Trump standing up to Putin was completely wiped out to the point that they dropped everything to fly to the US in order to help, as the BBC described it, capitulation. After Trump met with Putin last week, where the red carpet was rolled out for them to cozy up in the same car, where as a result of the meeting, Trump dropped calls for a ceasefire as a prerequisite for talks about long-term peace. He also, as diplomats have said, made clear he had no intention of imposing further economic sanctions on Russia, hence the need for European heads of government to travel to the United States on a whim.
Last Friday. But now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next meeting on. I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that, and let's try to put pressure on Russia, because the credibility of these efforts we are undertaking today, are depending on at least a ceasefire from the beginning of the serious negotiations from next step on. So I would like to emphasize this aspect and would like to see a ceasefire from the next meeting, which should be a trilateral meeting wherever it takes place.
Well, we're going to let the president go over and talk to the president, and we'll see how that works out. And if we can do that, I will say, and again, I say it, in the 6 wars that I've settled, I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with 2 great countries was 35 years going on, and we had no ceasefire. So if we can do the ceasefire, great. And if we don't do a ceasefire, because many other points were given to us, many points were given to us, great points.
On a hot mic, Trump can be heard saying, he wants to make a deal for me, referring to Putin, which I'm sure was met with great effort to avoid an eye roll. But here was President Macron of France discussing that very subject.
I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great.
Est-ce que je pense que le président Poutine veut la paix? La réponse est non. Si vous voulez mon intime conviction, non. Est-ce que je pense que le président Trump veut la paix? Oui. Je ne pense pas que le président Poutine veuille la paix. Je pense qu'il veut la capitulation de l'Ukraine. C'est ça qu'il a proposé. Donc,
I mean, can we pause for a second, right? Think how bad that meeting had to have went for heads of government to upend their schedules at such short notice, especially in August, when some are doing, J.D. Vance's favorite thing, vacationing. According to reports, the French leader was enjoying water sports on the Riviera. The Italian leader, Giorgia Meloni, had been in Greece. Such was the horror of Trump's change of strategy after meeting President Putin that they just all had to rush to Washington and sit across from a man who actually doesn't even know who's in the room as he's talking to them.
President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Where? Oh, you look better than I've ever seen you look. But you've done a great job, and we wanted to have you here because.
And we work very hard, and we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace. This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important, because this is the only way to fix it. And by the way, I think as a follow-up, we would need probably a quadrilateral meeting, because when we speak about security guarantees, we speak about the whole security of the European continent. And this is why we are all united here with Ukraine on this matter. In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for a truce or ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And we all support this idea. And in order to have such a long-standing peace for Ukraine and for the whole continent, we do need these security guarantees. And the first one is clearly a credible Ukrainian army for the years and decades to come. And the second one is our own commitments, all of us. And we worked very hard during the past few months among the coalition of the willings with the support of NATO to build the different pillars of security guarantees and our commitments. And you can be sure that Europeans are very lucid about the fact that they have their fair share in these security guarantees for Ukraine, but their own security is clearly at stake in this situation. So you can count on us, as we can count on you, in order to deliver this robust peace for both Ukraine and Europe.
What was so apparent from this entire gathering, right, was the understanding of what it takes to get the attention of our man-child-in-chief, flattery. And as vulgar as that is, the game plan was clear in advance. I mean, shower the man with praise while advancing the more delicate argument that Trump has consistently resisted, that supporting peace means first supporting Ukraine.
We are in. You can obviously count on Italy as it was from the beginning. We are on the side of Ukraine, and we do absolutely support your efforts towards peace. We will talk about many important topics. The first one is security guarantees, how to be sure that it won't happen again, which is the precondition of every kind of peace. I'm happy that we will discuss about that. I'm happy that we will begin from a proposal, which is the, let's say, Article 5 model, which was Italian at the beginning. So we are always ready to bring our proposals for peace, for dialogue. It's something we have to build together to guarantee peace and to defend the security of our nation. So thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us.
Trump has made it no secret in the past that he believes Ukraine need to make significant concessions to secure peace, not to forget the ever so stark differences between how he dealt with the leaders of both countries.
The president has always had a very odd conception of Vladimir Putin. I think he's thought that he and Putin could be kind of friends and partners and could make deals together and so on. I don't think Putin has changed. I don't know what the president's talking about. This is the way Putin has always been. He's always been a particularly brutal dictator, willing to take whatever measures he thought necessary to advance his interests, whatever he thought he could get away with. He thought he could get away with invading Ukraine. He thought he could conquer Ukraine in a matter of days. He failed to do that. And he has been spending his own people's blood and treasure for as long as he's needed to after that. And now he seems more intent than ever. He's the same old Vladimir Putin. So I hope the president has had a real moment of truth about him and will proceed accordingly. He does, as you've just heard pointed out, have leverage.
Upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances, and a little bit we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, the battlefield, in the sky and the sea, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of news, I got a question.
But this is what European leaders have to do when dealing with an egomaniac more concerned with how the world's most brutal dictator feels about him than striving for peace.
Trump flew to Alaska to talk to Putin about Ukraine for less than 3 hours, after which they held a press conference that went so badly, even this Fox News reporter couldn't put a positive spin on it.
The way that it felt in the room, was not good. It did not seem like things went well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his photo next to the president and then left.
Yeah, not great. And while the White House later released this black and white photo of Trump looking tough while talking to Putin, it does seem like the vibe was more accurately summed up by this AP photo of Putin looking confident and Trump looking like that room temperature shrimp is coming back up.
I mean, let's think about this. After all, wasn't this war supposed to be over in the first 24 hours that Donald Trump took office? What happened to
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA Union made.